What's going on, everybody? Tucker Bagley here, alongside Eliot Shorr-Parks, live from U.S. Bank Stadium. Right? Is that what it
U.S.
is?
Bank
There,
Stadium, yeah.
it's
Yep.
It is a bank, like most stadiums, like most arenas. It's a financial
Yes.
institution. But Eliot Shorr-Parks live in Minnesota. Eagles lead the Vikings 14-6 at the half, and at one point, Eliot, it seemed like this game was going to be a laugher. Right? Eagles had a great first possession, great opening drive. Carson Wentz looked erratic, really did the entire first half. Eagles led 14-3. It's still only 14-6, but I just have a feeling most people, and if you're in the chat or if you're watching the game, probably don't have a great feeling about this game after what
Yeah.
we saw really over the last 20 minutes. What's your kind of initial takeaway from what we saw in the first half?
In the first 5 or 6 minutes, really the first quarter, I thought the halftime show would be a celebration, right? It would be a look, they came out of the bye, they did exactly what we wanted, they got up big, they dominated the Vikings. But I'll be honest, and again, you mentioned the chat, chime in, everyone. I'll be curious to see how you guys feel. Like, I don't feel great about that first half, and I'm not trying to be overly negative. I did pick them to lose, so I'm truly not like coming on here saying, like viewing it through a glass half full lens. But they're lucky this game isn't 14-3. I mean, great play by Cooper DeJean to break up the touchdown pass to Justin Jefferson. But Kevin O'Connell calls 3 straight runs on second, third, fourth, and 1. The touchdown on fourth down, I thought was a bit of a ticky-tack call on Jalen Carter. Really should be 14-3. Maybe they go for 2. Who knows if maybe the game's tied. But I guess the point I'm making is watching this game, watching the way Carson Wentz was playing, they should be blowing this team out. Like to have the level of quarterback play the Vikings are getting for certainly the majority of that game. I mean, at one point, Carson Wentz threw a pick six, a pass that lost 9 yards and was considered a fumble, and another interception on 3 straight plays. Despite all that, the Vikings have I think it's almost 100 more yards than the Eagles. I know that last drive probably chopped into that a little bit. Wentz has almost 3 times as many passing yards as Jalen Hurts does. Saquon Barkley has not been effective running the ball. They certainly have not come out and run all over the Vikings. So honestly, the main positive I think in this game so far is Cooper DeJean made a big play for sure. Jalen Carter made a big play to force that pick six. Like, good job on the defense, right? But outside of that, I think if they're playing a quarterback in the NFL at this point, losing this game, because let's be honest, Carson also missed a wide open, I think it was Jordan Addison, that first drive for what should have been a touchdown. They result in only 3 points there. They should have had a touchdown on the series where they had the touchdown on fourth down and it got called back. Like, just not a great performance for as much as it started off so encouraging. I just honestly sit here and don't feel like this was the performance I think hoping to see out of the bye week or the mini bye week.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what you've seen so far, and you look at the underlying factors and what you kind of look at outside of the scoreboard. Eagles are 0 for 5 on third down. They have 5 first downs. I think 4 of them came on the first possession. 1 came on that last possession. Where you want to talk about the confidence Nick Sirianni has in this offense. You just let the clock run out, right? Like they didn't try to score there at the end. They had 25 seconds. They could have tried a deep ball, something, try to get in field goal range. They just let it run out. They didn't even try to run a play. I mean, what we've seen offensively, and they do have 41 rushing yards for what it's worth. Saquon Barkley has 8 carries for 30 yards, and you can blame Brett Toth being in at center. It's not good at all. No,
it's good. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah,
but there's almost nothing to be encouraged about offensively, I think, from what you've seen so far. And defensively, they've made plays. Like credit, Andrew Makuba for making that interception. Credit Jalen Carter and Jalen Hunt for making that pick six happen. But I mean, the story of this game so far has been Carson Wentz. It's been so erratic. It's led to this point where the Eagles are leading 14-6, when quite frankly, they have no business being up.
Well, but think about this, right? We agree Carson has been terrible for the most part. He could very well finish this game with 400 yards passing. Now, I know passing yards are not the end-all, be-all of, like, stat. I get it. But they are moving the ball on the Eagles. Like, they have...
He has open receivers.
I think, actually, not even our... Say the Vikings have been better on offense than the Eagles?
I think they've had more opportunities to move the ball.
Right. Like they got all the way down the field to start the game. They had the bad snap, which is on them. Like, that's a mistake on them. That punts them back about 30 yards. They get all the way down inside the 5, don't score. Like, I would guess the majority of times they score there. It just feels like, and the interesting thing for me, as I just kind of think out loud, but like, normally when we do these halftime shows, I feel like there's one clear reason the offense is struggling, whether the offensive line's been bad, Jalen's struggling. They can't run the ball. To me, it just feels like a bit of everything. And to me also, like, I'm sitting here blaming the coaches more than the players. And I've been big time blaming the players more than the coaches. But you had 10 days to come out and look better than this. Now, it is a tough matchup against the Vikings for sure. They do things, as I said all week, that the Eagles really struggle with. They play zone. Like, there's just things they do that poke at the Eagles' weaknesses. And when you lose Cam Jurgens, that's tough. Brett Toth obviously had that really bad snap where, Saquon gets hit back. AJ Brown had a pre-snap penalty on a tush push play that pushes him back. Like, they just don't look good. And I think everyone was really hoping coming into the game that they would come out like a fired up team. And I will say, like, the defensive line has been better. I think, like, the defensive line for sure. Another interesting wrinkle so far is they seem pretty set on getting Nakobe Dean on the field. Like, Nakobe's probably played, 5, 6, 7 snaps, if not more, something like that. And at first, Campbell stayed on the field. Campbell now off the field when Nakobe's coming in. So maybe this is more of a midweek topic, but I don't know if I love the idea of forcing Nakobe out there and taking one of your biggest playmakers and Jahad Campbell off the field.
Yeah, they've definitely been trying to just move people around and get the right matchup on defense. But you're right, offensively, I mean, you can point to the wide receivers, A.J. Brown, with that pre-snap penalty. The offensive line hasn't been great. Greg Olsen is talking about on the broadcast how great Jalen Hurts has been against the blitz because he's 5 of 5. He's also been sacked 3 times. Like, it's not necessarily
doesn't look like he's been great. I'm not saying he hasn't been, but let's not act like they're picking the blitz apart here. I mean,
no, they aren't. They are taking
passing. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, you look at everything so far, and as we look ahead, I mean, what do you see kind of happening in the second half? Do you expect them to turn things around? I mean, maybe not because they've had 10 days to figure things out, and they're doing the same stuff we saw them do Thursday night against the Giants, but I mean, as we head into the last 30 minutes, I think most people would say they expect them to win because just of how poorly the Vikings offense has, shot themselves in the foot. But I don't know. It's another one of these halftime shows where I don't necessarily feel confident about what this team can do in the final 30 minutes to put away a supposedly inferior opponent.
Well, it certainly feels like they had a chance to put the game away and blew it, right? Like, there's really a world where we could be sitting here and they're up 21, 24-3 or whatever at halftime. And now, look, they've blown those type of leads before, at least made it close. But it does feel like the Vikings tried to hand them this game. The Eagles wouldn't take it. And now it is a game for sure. And the last thing I'd say, too, before we wrap this up, like, A.J. Brown's touchdown, right? Great play by Jalen, great play by A.J. They improvise, they make it happen. AJ throws the ball into the crowd afterwards. Him and Jalen walk by each other and like half-heartedly slap hands. Like, I don't know, man. Like, for a team that loves celebrations, for a team where Nick really emphasizes it, I just thought that was a telling thing too. Like, they feel like the same team they were prior to the mini bye is really the best way for me to put it.
Yeah, one last thing before we wrap it up. Nakobe Dean's played 18 snaps.
Okay, yeah,
Jalen Carter's played 25. Jalen Carter has 15 snaps along the defensive line today, which is something I don't think many people.
Jahad
Campbell. What did I say?
You said Jalen Carter, so I'm just making sure.
No, Jahad Campbell. Sorry, Jahad Campbell has 15 snaps on the defensive line, which I think is
I just don't love that. I know people think it's creative and everything, but I don't think he's that good of an edge right now.
Especially if he's done that and we haven't noticed him, right? Like, if we thought it was only 5 or 6 and he hasn't really gotten to the quarterback and made a play, I don't know if it's necessarily, improving the defensive front. So that'll do it for Eliot. That'll do it for me. Eliot and James will be back right after the game. Talk about hopefully a win. Hopefully we've had shows like this where the Eagles come back in the second half and James gets to talk about how amazing they are. So hopefully that happens. So join us for that. As for us right now, Eagles lead at 14-6.